My Central Unit is Essential Man here, so back again with another WCW pay-per-view review. By the time this review is out, will be on the first week of June. So in this installment, I want to go back to the 1995 WCW archives. The first review I did on this series, on this channel, I reviewed WCW Uncensored 95. That was the very first Uncensored show. So let's fast forward to June of that year. So in this installment, I'm going to review WCW The Great American Bash 1995 at the Horror Center in Dayton, Ohio on the 18th of June 1995. The attendance for the show was 6,000, and the tagline for Great American Bash 95, backed by popular demand, celebrate with red, white, black, and blue. This is the first Great American Bash show for almost 3 years. You know, the last one they did was in 1992, but they didn't do one in 93, 94. I don't know why, but I think the reason why, because the 92 and the 91 Great American Bash shows didn't do well, or they probably took a break of doing the Great American Bash pay-per-views. This was the 10th anniversary of show because they've been doing the Great American Bash since 1985. The commentators for the Great American Bash 95, we got Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Before I get into it, onto the show, I need a drink first. I'm fucking, my throat is really dry. Anyway, so Bobby the Brain Heenan's like attire for the show, he was wearing a blue suit and glasses. I never see Bobby Heenan wearing glasses, man. The first match to kick off the Great American Bash 95, we got Flying Brian Pillman versus Das Wunderkid Alex Wright. Really, this is a strong opener. The fans were booing Alex Wright. I don't know why, because he was a babyface at this time. It's not the heel Alex Wright, you know, he was kind of promo, bashing Americans, speaking German. It's not that Alex Wright yet. I think he was doing the dance, maybe. I'm not going to go into it. So, yeah, before the start of the match, both Pillman and Wright shake hands. Yeah, this was a really good match, you know, like techno-style wrestling and high-flying moves, you know, all in one. Like, one more of the match, you had Wright kind of suplex Pillman off the ring. That was a cool spot. Pillman kind of do a suicide dive off the ring and really clash into Wright. Wright did a drop kick onto Pillman off the top rope in the ring. In the end, I think Pillman was going for like a Hurricanrana, but instead, Wright counted into a small package to get the victory. It's a damn shame because, yeah, they were booing Wright but cheering for Pillman. Yeah, this was really the start of Pillman. You know, I think it's one of his final pay-per-views as a babyface before he'll turn heel, be part of the Horsemen, and developing the loose cannon gimmick. Okay, and then we got, I don't really call it a match, we got an arm wrestling match between DDP versus Dave Sullivan. Dave Sullivan is basically Kevin Sullivan's on-screen mentally health brother, and he's calling E-Bad now. You know, the build up to this, you had really DDP's doing the, you know, on arm wrestling competition. You know, he's getting that gimmick over. It's basically he's doing multiple gimmicks for DDP. You know, he's more like a hamster at this point. With the arm wrestling gimmick he's doing, he's getting over, getting heat. You know, you had Max Muscle. He's basically like, he's DDP's lackey. He's Underwin. You know, basically his bodyguard at this point. He's basically helping him winning arm wrestling competition. In this match, though, the stipulation is that if DDP wins, he gets the rabbits. The rabbit's name's called Ralph, and he's like said about he's gonna be put in a stew. If Dave Sullivan win this match, he will get a date with the Diamond Doll, that is DDP's wife, Kimberly. This is not really a bad match or a great match. It was just like, it's not really a wrestling match. It's an arm wrestling competition. It did serve its purpose. The fans were kind of getting behind Dave Sullivan. Done some research because Dave Sullivan is one of the worst wrestlers in 1994 in the Wrestling Observer. Go and check on Wikipedia. DDP was about to. Before that, he was cutting a promo on not DDP. Dave Sullivan. He called him an idiot boy, rabbit boy, telling the fans to shut up. You call all your fans from Dayton, Ohio are idiots. Get to the arm wrestling competition. DDP is about to win, but instead I think it was Kimberly and Max Muscle. I think it was Kimberly bump into Max Muscle, and Max Muscle bump into DDP, allow Dave Sullivan to pin DDP's arm to win the arm wrestling competition, and now Dave Sullivan is on a date with the Diamond Doll. And the aftermath was funny, like he was shouting, DDP was getting into Max Muscle's face, he was getting into Kimberly's face, he was getting pissed off, and you got Meiji and Oakland trying to interview DDP, and DDP says, I want a duo. This was setting up the storyline between DDP and Kimberly, like the kayfabe breakup, DDP lose all his money because he's winning money, doing the whole arm wrestling competition, losing. I think he lost Max Muscle. It set up the that crappy match on Uncensored 96 between DDP and Booty Man. If I review 96 Uncensored pay-per-view in the near future, I will do it because I did. Because this pay-per-view I'm reviewing the good, bad, and something decent. Anyway. The next match, really the next proper match, we got Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Sergeant Craig Pitbull, Pittman, sorry. Pitbull Pittman. Oh my god. Anyway, originally it was supposed to be Craig Pittman versus Marquis Bagwell, the future Buff Bagwell, but unfortunately Bagwell suffered an injury, so Jim Duggan is, Marquis Bagwell replacement. This match sucked, to be honest, man. I've done some research, is that Craig Pittman, he had some record, really his gimmick, he was wearing like this type of bullet casing vest, the sergeant's hat, because he had the experience in the Marine, he had an experience in MMA. It was not that good of a match. Like the bulk of the match, you had Pittman kind of work on the leg of Jim Duggan. Jim Duggan got his comeback, but instead you had Pittman locked in a cross arm breaker, not cross arm breaker, but an arm bar. It's called the Code Red. Duggan was going for the ropes. Pittman refused to give up the submission, so Jim Duggan won this match by disqualification, and then afterwards he grabbed like a plank and go after Craig Pittman. It was not that good. Pittman stayed around until 1997 before he was let go in the company. He had a run in Indies, and I think he went back in MMA after his pro wrestling career come to an end. Anyway, so the next match. Sorry folks, need a swig of water. And it's really hot. Anyway, we got first tag team match of the night. We got Harlan Heat versus Bunhouse Buck and Dick Slater, with Colonel Robert Parker in their corner. In Harlan Heat's corner, we got Sister Sherry, the formerly known as Sensational Sherry. They had I forgot to tell you, Pittman did like a double duty. He wrestled in a match against Jim Duggan on the main show. He fought Scott D'Amore in the Saturday night main event show before this pay-per-view. Same as Harlan Heat and Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater. And you had Robert Parker making out with Sherry. This is planting the seeds of a relationship between Sherry and Parker. Yeah, this match, not a good match. It was, in my opinion, it was a bit boring, to be honest. And they were both heels. Yeah, doing a heel versus heel match in pro wrestling never worked, because who you gonna react to? I think the fans more get behind more of Holland Heat more than Budhouse Buck and Dick Slater, because they got their gimmicks that was a little bit goofy. You know, this is 1995. You know, it's WCW, the two major promotions in wrestling at the time. That is World Championship Wrestling and World Wrestling Federation. They had bad years, so that's another topic for another time. Yeah, it was a boring match. In the end, you basically Booker T was going for like a cradle, and Parker like tip onto Bunkhouse Buck's side. Looks like Bunkhouse Buck, he kind of reversed the cradle, and then when the referee was distracted, Sherry came to the ring, kind of turned back into Booker's side. Looks like he countered the roll up on his own. Holland Heat got the victory, and that's it. And that's not the last time we see Holland Heat on the show. Yeah, and then the last review I did was Hogwild '96. You had Colonel Parker and Sherry was managing both the Holland Heat. I don't understand that. Led up to a wedding later on that year that was interrupted by Medusa. That was like '96-ish. Okay, and then oh my god, and then you got a segment with Vader. Like he's getting into Nick Bockwinkel's face. Bockwinkel is basically the on-screen commissioner. He got in the face of Eric Bischoff, and then you got Hogan confronting Vader, attacking Vader. This is setting up their cage match at Bash at the Beach of '95, and then you got like basically Bockwinkel stutter. Didn't remember the next pay-per-view. I think the rumors like he got fired after this pay-per-view because he's the on-screen commissioner. He doesn't know his name of the next pay-per-view. Anyway, so okay, and then we got Arn Anderson defending the TV title against the fucking Renegade, man. The Renegade. The Renegade debuted on Censor 95. I covered it on this channel. And the Renegade is basically a rip-off version of the Ultimate Warrior. His real name is Richard Wilson. With the Warrior, Jim Hellwig, he's a bell worker. He's got more personality and charisma. And his physique was way better. As for Richard Wilson, the Renegade, he's like, he has no personality, no charisma. He's absolute crap in the ring. And, the Renegade's physique was absolutely bang average. Like, in this match, he's mostly, the Renegade's character is basically just growling and grunting. That's not supposed to be, the Warrior don't do that. He does like the snort, like, that's the Warrior's snort. But, yeah, then he was like, the Renegade was like growling and grunting. He can't even, like, lock Arn Anderson in a proper headlock. He can't do a proper headlock. He almost fucked up a spine buster by Arn Anderson. Yeah, he kind of did it well, but he almost fucked it up. He can't even do a tonic drop properly. He kind of, like, did the tonic drop, but instead Arn Anderson kind of nudged Renegade, and Renegade fell on his ass. That was, oh my god, it's so bad. In the end, he had Renegade hit the splash onto Arn Anderson to win this match and become the new TV champion. Yeah, he was a fucking terrible worker. And people were not buying into the Renegade. He's the reboot version of Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior is way better. Warrior came back in, really debuting the company in '98. Really, speaking of debut on the show, I'm guessing this is the debut of Paul White. He's not really the Giant yet. I'm guessing it was in like September of '95 he became the Giant, be part of Kevin Sullivan's Dungeon of Doom. Okay, and then we got the tag team title match between the Nasty Boys versus the Blue Bloods. The Blue Bloods are supposed to be, the Blue Bloods are Lord Steven Regal, the future William Regal, and Robert Earl Eaton. The former beautiful Barbie. The original coronation of the group, it was supposed to be Regal and Paul Levesque, the future Triple H, but unfortunately Levesque left WCW to go to the World Wrestling Federation, so yeah, Bobby Eaton is basically Paul Levesque's replacement. They got the gimmick work. Really like I think the backstory is that they're still in the top three tag team at this point were basically Holland Heat, the Blue Bloods, and the Nasty Boys. The Nasty Boys are Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags. They defeated Holland Heat for the tag team titles not too long ago. Yeah, this match was more of a brawl, but it's better than Holland Heat versus Bunhouse Buck and Dick Slater. Really good, you know, really took a beat. Regal took a beating. Eaton did well. Yeah, the ending was kind of like it caught me off guard a little bit. It was okay. You had Holland Heat showing up. It was supposed to really cost the Nasty Boys the tag team match, and really want the Nasty Boys losing the tag team titles. You had Booker T hit the Holland Hangover onto Jerry Sags. Unfortunately, he kind of really cost the Blue Bloods the tag team titles when really Booker T accidentally knocked off Bobby Eaton or Robert Eaton off the ring. He was about to do a move on the top rope. He kind of fell off. In the end, I think it was Brian Knobbs hit the flying elbow onto Robert Eaton to win this match and retain the tag team titles. So yeah, they're still the heels at this point. I think it was 96 or 97. Holland Heat were a babyface tag team. At the time, they were still the heels. So I think they were still the feud it was for the tag team titles has to be Holland Heat and the Nasty Boys. Yeah, the Blue Bloods at this point were basically, just an afterthought at this point. They never won the tag team titles after that. I don't know why. I think they dropped the ball because they got the character, really the gimmick over. They made the character alive. They did I think they did the reincarnation in WWE a decade later with Regal and Dave Taylor. It's a damn shame they never won the tag team titles. I think they could be a good tag team. They are really the most underrated tag teams. The Blue Bloods, Regal and Eaton. They got the character working. Bobby Eaton's now, he's a adopted Brit because he's an American. He's a Brit and American. Triple H is American, but his original gimmick in WCW was Jean-Paul Levesque, a Frenchman. What's up, my Century Unit? Before I resume my review on WCW's Great American Bash 1995, this is the intermission. I should have done this video last week, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's announced last week that the Premier League will announce to resume their Premier League fixtures. So it's the first time since the pandemic starts and the lockdown in our country. I said to myself, thank God, it's been a few months since football was played. The last live react to a football match I did on this channel is live reacting to Chelsea versus Manchester United way back in February. During this pandemic and lockdown, I did some live reactions to classic football matches. The 2006 FA Cup final match between Liverpool and West Ham United, and the quarter-final of the 2010 World Cup match between Brazil versus the Netherlands. So, thank God, I was bored to death, without any football. I'm a football fan. But, I've been watching football on TV. ITV's doing reruns of the matches of Euro 96. Don't know about if they're resuming the FA Cup matches and games in Europe. They already resumed matches in the Bundesliga and La Liga. Don't know about Serie A, so stay tuned for that. So right now, let's resume my review of WCW's Great American Bash 1995. Next match, we got Sting versus Meng in the finals of the United States Championship Tournament. The backstory is that WCW stripped the former champion Vader from the title. I think, like from earlier I mentioned, Vader got into the faces of Bischoff and the on-screen commissioner Nick Botwinkle. He said, "I'm tired of your shit." Anyway, so WCW did a tournament to crown a new United States champion. I think the original idea had two semi-final matches for the tournament on the show. This match between Sting versus Meng and Flair versus Savage. Unfortunately, the Flair versus Savage match ended in a non-contest, so yep, Sting and Meng got a final bye. So we got Sting versus Meng in the finals of the United States Championship Tournament. In the two reviews I did on this series, on Censored 95 and Starrcade 96, Meng's matches, in those matches against Jim Duggan in the sumo match and Uncensored in 95, and also the tag team title match between the Outsiders versus Barbarian and Meng at Starrcade 96, they were bad. They were not that good. I'm not a big fan of like Haku or Meng. I find him so vanilla, so generic. Like his repertoire of moves. Yeah, I think he's got a bit of a karate background, but he doesn't look like he's a good karate fighter. Like in his matches, he does like this type of nerve hold, submission hold around the neck and trap area. He does like this type of claw to the throat. I like Umaga's Samoan spike finisher. At least that was more effective than Meng's, like throat to the neck. It's not a chokeslam. This match was decent. At least Sting carried him to a good match. It was like back and forth. Really, it was a bit boring because Meng's like repertoire, it kind of like really bore me to death. But like at least with Sting, he's more athletic. You had basically like Sting attack Colonel Parker, going after Colonel Parker, and then you got Meng trying to go after Sting. Sting got out of the way, and Meng kind of hit his head on the ring post. Meng kind of Sting was going for like a Scorpion Deathlock, but Meng countered it. Sting hit a jumping DDT to win this match to become the new United States champion. It's good, I like. I think here's a trivia. Sting's first championship in NWA/WCW was the US title before he went on to become a multiple-time world champion in WCW. Become a main event player. I need my sip of my water. And it's good for Sting. I'm not a big fan of Meng. If Meng won the title, I think it would fall flat in my opinion. So I'm not crapping on Haku or Meng, but like I say, he's just too generic, too vanilla. Anyway, so moving on to the main event. The main event, we got Ric Flair versus Macho Man Randy Savage. I said earlier, they compete in that United States Championship tournament in the semi-finals rounds. Unfortunately, it ended in a non-contest. The rivalry renewed rivalry took place on Uncensored 95 when Ric Flair came back to his kayfabe of retirement, attacked Randy Savage from behind in his match with Earthquake, disguising as a woman, and then at the following month's pay-per-view Slamboree, Ric Flair attacked Randy Savage's older father, really his father, Angelo Poffo, because Poffo was accepting his WCW Hall of Fame award, and you got Arn Anderson and Ric Flair attacking Angelo Poffo. Like Ric Flair locking him in the figure four leg lock and punch him in the guts. This was a grudge match. This is not for the championship. This is like fight for his father. Angelo Poffo was in Randy Savage in ringside. He was sitting like on a chair. It was a grudge match. It was more of a brawl than an actual match. It was match of the night for me. You had Flair kind of working on the leg of Savage. Like one more in the match, Savage was going for an axe handle outside the ring, but Flair got out of the way. He kind of thumped his head on the ring barricade. I thought he's gonna broke his jaw. The announcer says, "Oh, Sting nearly broke his jaw." You had Poffo got involved. He grabbed before that he had Savage was about to hit Flair with the ring bell, but you got Randy Anderson stopped him, and then you got like Angelo Poffo, Randy Savage's dad, really choked Flair with the cane, but Flair grabbed the cane, whacked Savage into, I think it was on the back or the gut, to win this match. This will set up the rematch at Bash to the Beach 95, the lifeguard match. If I review Bash to the Beach 95, that'll be somewhere in the near future. It won't be the next WCW pay-per-view review, so yeah, it was a really good match. It told a good story. You know, it'd be really good if Savage won this match on the show to fight for his honor of Angelo Poffo. Got an old man beaten down by Ric Flair at the time, was in his 40s. So my final grade for Great American Bash 95, not grade, but final rating of Great American Bash 95, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I think this was a decent show, but not the best. It was a little bit of a mixed bag show. You had some. It was good for top to bottom. The opener was really good between Pillman and Alex Wright, and the main event between Savage and Flair was good. And also, you had some fun matches on the show. You got New Blood versus the Nasty Boys for the tag team titles. That was cool. That was a good match. And yeah, Sting versus Meng for the United States title in the finals of the United States Championship tournament. That was decent. Besides that, there were a lot of fucking bad matches. I don't really put the arm wrestling match between Dave Sullivan and DDP in that category. For once, it was not really an actual wrestling match. So yeah, Craig Pullman. I always call him Pullman, but Craig Pittman and Jim Duggan. That was crap because. Because he was, Pittman was going for the leg instead of the arm. That was air. Harlan Heat versus Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater. That was boring. And yeah, Arn Anderson versus the Renegade. That was just vanilla. Okay, that's my review of WCW 1995. Hope you like it. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button and subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Maybe I'll probably do another WCW Great American Bash review. This time I'm going to go to 1998. So yeah, this is the only NWO branded Great American Bash show. So yeah, Great American Bash 98. That's the next WCW pay-per-view review. This is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later.